Good evening, and welcome in to a fantastic, wonderful episode. We're about to talk trades to all of you listening about all sorts of different categories. Stars from your favorite teams, some buy and sell candidates, of course, later. Our favorite Which Trades Fair segment. And I am, of course, joined today with one of the best hosts on our network, my great, used to be friend, Matty Kiwoom. How's it going?
You alluded to it. I'm going to touch upon it now. I'm not happy. It's been a bad day. I felt like two of my boys went behind my back and did something dirty. So, yeah, the show's going live and it's whatever. But, like, are we even friends anymore? I don't even know.
So what happened? What are we talking about here?
So to cue everybody in, let me just take the reins here. So, of course, if you've been listening to the Trade God Show, you know that we launched the TGIF, the Trade Gods Invitational Fantasy League. And it's been going well. A lot of fun. We got some guys in the Discord all up in that league. And then today, two of my closest buddies that I would say in the league, Jason and Chad, a.k.a. Big Country, they made a trade that included two of my favorite players and two players that I've been trying to get. And now we are in the midst of a breakup because I am not happy that this has happened to me.
I mean, I'm stoked,
I'm not happy.
man. I'm stoked.
You're stoked? Oh, you're stoked.
Oh, yeah, dude. I've got Christian Watson and Antonio Gibson looking pretty on my bench right now. I don't even have to.
You're going to have to give them to me. You're going to have to give them to me.
Well, I'm sorry I did that. You know, every player has a price.
Hey, listen, it's fair. Okay, all is fair in fantasy, love, and war. But yeah, I'm not happy about this. I won't get my revenge. I'm gonna get it.
Well, speaking of trades, how would you like to start looking at some trades?
Listen, man, I love trades. This is Thursday night. It's Trade Gods. Of course, we're talking trades. Of course, we're gonna break down a whole bunch of trades and see which one's fair. But at the end of the day, you know what trade we're not gonna break down, which is the trade that broke my heart.
Yeah, we're not breaking it down, but you know, maybe we will next episode, because stay tuned. We might be bringing a trade in from the very own TGIF Trade Gods Invitational Fantasy Football League. So maybe stay tuned into this segment that we like to call Which Trades Fair?
Which Trades Fair?
So we've got 4 trades compiled for you today. You may be asking yourself, how do we get these trades? Well, I'll show you.
You got to show these people.
And for
Where
those
do we
listening,
get the trades?
Yeah, and for those listening, I'll tell you. So, you know, you're on our wonderful website, theplayerprofiler.com, and you just go down here to Trade Finder after clicking on Dynasty Deluxe. So Dynasty Deluxe to Trade Finder. And I mean, already showing you all the trades. And so we've grabbed four of these bad boys ready to break down for you. Let's see. You ready to kick it off? You want to start with trade 1?
Before we get to trade 1, what I want to say is, and this is my payback for that behind the back buffoonery trade that you made in the TGIF, is if you want the all-in package, use the promo code Matty and get $10 off. Don't use the promo code Jason. Use the promo code Matty. I got you back. I got you back. I got you back.
Or you could use Jason. You know,
no, don't do it, because Jason will make a trade behind your back that breaks your heart. So don't use the promo code Jason. Use the promo code Matty and get $10 off the all-in package. Get a $180 personal value for $125. Let's go. Don't use Jason. Use Matty. Let's go.
That's a great deal, and you get a ton of tools on our website.
The best tools, in my opinion. And this is no jokes. This is all jokes aside.
Yeah,
Player Profile provides the best tools to win in your fantasy league, whether it be the data analysis tool, all the Dynasty Deluxe stuff. Like, I mean, by far, Player Profile is the website you need to be in touch with to win in fantasy. It's just point blank, period.
Definitely. I mean, you've kind of walked into it. Let's say I'm not at home, but I still want to get some Player Profiler information. I still want to research some fantasy football players. Do you think there's an app? Do you think there's an app we can use?
Well, Jason, let me ask you one astute question.
Yeah.
Do you have your phone with you?
No, I just I don't.
Well, hypothetically, would you
Yes.
normally have your phone with you?
Yeah, normally I have my phone on me. Just
Well,
currently,
if you
yeah.
have your phone with you, just download the Dynasty Dominator app. Don't be a putz. Get that app today.
Yeah, and it's got every single tool you love on our website for $4.99. And then if you need to add on some stuff, we've got some add-ons, but we've got the trade analyzer, player comparison. You've got the lifetime value lookup tool. It's on Apple, it's on Android, and we've just now added the 2023 rookie class. So it's all there. It's all there.
It's all there. And our boy Cody Carpentier is in the chat saying, tough trade I'm pondering. Ebner for the 401. I would much rather have Ebner than the 401. Do it, Cody. Do it.
Yeah. I'm with you there. I'm with you there.
Let's do it. Let's get into these trades. I'm excited about these trades.
Let's do it. So this is trade one. We have Derek Carr being acquired by Team A for the price of Isaiah Hodgins and a 2023 first-round pick, and it's going to be pick number 12. And just so you know, this is a 2 QB standard scoring league.
Okay.
What are your first thoughts?
So my first thoughts here is getting Derek Carr now is a good process move. If he were to go to the Jets or if he were to go to a situation that builds some hype, obviously that's going to cause his value to go up. But I also think that just Derek Carr is a very, very solid quarterback to have in Superflex 2 QB. He's just proven to be very efficient. Last year, even in a down year in which he was QB 19 on a points per game basis, he was still number 2 in air yards per attempt. So if you put him in an offense, let's say the Jets, where, Garrett Wilson, Elijah Moore, you got some really big playmakers, guys that can take the top off, guys that can get you some downfield plays. I like Derek Carr. So just looking at it initially, I think this is a good trade for the Team A side, getting Derek Carr for Isaiah Hodgins and the 112. The 112, you are outside of the quarterback realm. Let's call it what it is. You ain't getting Levis, you ain't getting Richardson, you ain't getting Young, you ain't getting Stroud. So you're pulling yourself out of the QB realm. So I'm assuming that by this trade happening, Team B has 2 QBs that they can use in this league. So I think it's fair. I don't think it's like a lopsided trade, but give me the team, the side that's getting the QB in Derek Carr. What's your thoughts here?
Yeah, no, I agree with you there. I'm definitely taking the Derek Carr side. I do really like Isaiah Hodgins. He had a great end to the year, and we hope that this New York Giants offense can, have a healthier receiver core, which would just keep everything, better, make it better as a whole, helping Isaiah Hodgins, helping Wan'Dale Robinson if he returns healthy. If they bring back Saquon. So it's nice to have a piece of that. But, like you said, a quarterback in a 12-team league, 2 quarterbacks. And with that 12th pick, you might end up getting someone that turns out, but more often than not, you're not going to get a quarterback that you're going to be able to start like you can Derek Carr. And that's if he goes to the Jets, the Saints, Panthers. You're going to like Derek Carr in a 2 quarterback format for sure.
And Derek Carr, if you're not in love with his 2022 profile, look at his 2021 profile. There's a lot better, metrics that you can really understand how good he is. In 2021, he was 2nd in accuracy rating, 7th in true completion percentage. And, he was very good on yards per attempt. He was top 10. Passing yards, he was top 5. He definitely has a range of outcomes that's very beneficial for fantasy. And if you're part of the Jets front office, apparently someone in that front office says he's a first ballot Hall of Famer if he goes to the Jets. Don't know if that's the case, but I do want him on my fantasy team. So this, to me, give me Team A in this trade.
Yep. Yeah, I'm with you there. Any final thoughts before we move on to trade 2?
The only thing I would add is getting the 112. It's definitely good. And this draft, I know throughout the process, it seems as if a lot of the community is going to poo-poo the value in this draft, but I still think it's a very good class. Cody and I have done a number of mocks. Make sure you go check them out on our channel. There's depth. There's guys you can get of value, some very valuable fantasy players you can get at the end of the first and the second, but you're not getting a quarterback. And as much as I love Isaiah Hodgins, which I do like Hodgins, I think he can be a factor in that passing offense.
Mhm.
You know, if Daniel Jones isn't, there's a lot of uncertainty in the Giants organization, I would say. So to make this type of trade, I think it's a home run to get a quarterback in 2 QB format.
Yeah, definitely. They're gold. Quarterbacks are gold in 2 QB.
I'm learning that in the hard way. I am learning that the hard way as I get into more and more 2 QB Superflex leagues, for sure.
Yep. Let's see. Here's trade 2. Team A is acquiring a superstar, a pending free agent superstar who we might not have answers for a minute, as he might hold up the market. But Saquon Barkley is being acquired for Jerry Jeudy, a 2023 first, so number 11 in 2023, and a 2024 first round pick. This is PPR, 12 teams. It's 2 QB, but it doesn't matter in this particular trade. What are you thinking when you first look at this?
Every so often, we put trades on the trade gods table that just makes you go like, ooh, I really need to think about this. Like this is making me think. And this is that type of trade. Because obviously Barkley, we have him in our top 5 for running backs in Dynasty. He really balled out in 2022. Reminded us how special he is of a prospect. But he's 26 years old. Okay, so like, at what point do we start looking at Barkley not so much as like that young stud, or do we start putting him in the 27-year-old club? That seems to be the age in which we start rolling in these very effective fantasy running backs into the old category. Barkley's only a year away. So when I break all that down, I think I like the Team B side better. And I didn't think I would, because Barkley's by far the best player in this deal going into 2023. But I do like Jerry Jeudy. In terms of replacing Barkley, you're not replacing him at the 111, but you could get a very serviceable running back at the 111. And then you're cashing another 2024 first. You're getting liquid. You're getting a little bit more liquidity in your lineup. I like it a lot. And what I saw from Jeudy this year was a lot of what I wanted to see. It was good stuff. We saw him ball out from week 13 on. 10.5 fantasy points, 33.3 fantasy points, 14.6, 17.7, 10.8, and 24.3. Dude balled out at the end. Sean Payton's in town now, hoping to resurrect Russell Wilson. Jerry Jeudy's going to be a huge part of that. So as much as initially I thought this was the Saquon Barkley trade, I think it's the Jerry Jeudy trade plus 2 first trade.
Yeah, I think I'm on that side too. It's close. We had a whole game plan episode about the price of acquiring superstars, but Jerry Jeudy's on that trajectory if that offense takes off the way that many expect it to. Plus, you're going to have a couple first-round lottery tickets to just kind of throw at the win. The 11th is not bad, as you already talked about in the last trade. And then who knows what that 24 could turn into. I mean, they've just traded for Saquon Barkley. If they get a poor Saquon Barkley season, I mean, you're probably looking at a top 5 pick. So, I really like this Jerry Jeudy side.
Me too.
For all the reasons you already
Plus,
pointed
having
out.
that 2024 first in the holster, it's just another bullet to help you win in 2023. And I like doing that. I like stockpiling picks in 2024 or beyond now, so that you can use them to sharpen your sword, to get a more consolidated, sharp lineup when it matters most in 2023. So, when you factor all those, things in, man, I really do like the B side here. And I didn't think I would. When I first saw this, I did not think I would.
Yeah, so sometimes you have to let trades simmer for a little bit before you really realize.
Let trades simmer.
Yeah,
except for that trade you made with Big Country today. Like, fuck you for
that. We need a counter for how many times the trade comes up.
You need a counter for how many times I'm going to cry the next 10 days until you give me those players.
What makes it sweeter is I got like Isaiah Pacheco last week. It's just taking all.
You had to bring that up here live in the air. You had to bring that up live in the air.
In between trades.
The show's over. It's over. We're done. We are done.
Live
Tune in
trade
next week to the Trade God featuring Jason Allwine and nobody Kibo. Son of a bitch.
It's okay. You can have them. Please come back and let's talk about
Wait,
trade
you're gonna
3.
give me those players?
Yeah, for free. If we can start talking about trade 3. So, oh wow. This trade
Too
involved
soon. Too soon.
Christian
Too
Watson.
soon. Too soon. Too soon. Too soon. Too soon.
Oh, for the podcast,
We have fun here. We have fun in the show. We have fun.
Team A is acquiring Treylon Burks, Elijah Moore, a 2023 second-round pick, number 2 overall, so essentially a first-round pick, and they're giving away Christian Watson and the number 9 overall pick. It is a 12-team league, standard scoring. They're essentially, I guess, paying the price of Treylon Burks and Elijah Moore to move back 3 spots. Am I reading that right?
Yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah. What are
It's
your
a 12-team league, so moving back 3 spots or 4 spots.
4 spots. Yeah. So
Math. Math is hard.
Math is hard. I'm not a math god. I'm a trade god.
Very good. Very good.
Thanks.
So in this trade, I've gone back and forth because I think in my opinion, I think Christian Watson's the best player in this trade. So getting a first back with that side makes a lot of sense. Mm-hmm. But, Aaron Rodgers goes to the Jets or Derek Carr goes to the Jets. All of a sudden, Elijah Moore becomes probably worth the 109. I know that might sound crazy, but at the 109, what are we talking here in 2 QB leagues? We're talking probably Quentin Johnston or Josh Downs, Zay Flowers, and Elijah Moore with an established quarterback that's can kind of disperse the ball in a way that gets multiple guys a lot of fantasy points. He gets pretty equivalent. And like you said, you're only moving back a handful of spots. So as much as I love Christian Watson and as much as I've not hated on Treylon Burks, but kind of resisted trying to acquire Treylon, I think in this trade, I'm going to take Team A. I think I like the side of the three assets because I think that Treylon Burks and Elijah Moore could absolutely find their way into a starting lineup. And the 202, how far are you downgrading in a super or 2 QB league from the 109? I don't think it's that big of a difference. So give me the Team A side.
I don't know. I think I'll start here. Obviously Christian Watson, Treylon Burks, both 2022 rookies, both wide receivers with great profiles, high ceilings, tons of expectations. So, I mean, to a certain degree, they're basically the same player. It's just we've seen a lot more of Christian Watson's success, and man, was his success fun to watch. But I mean, who's to say Treylon Burks doesn't have a similar, explosion next season? Who's to say Elijah Moore doesn't have a similar explosion? And I'm basically canceling out these picks. I would say what the 109 gets you over the 202 is, I guess, your preferred dart throw would be the word. I mean, probably around that range, you've got like 4 or 5 guys you're eyeing. And at 109, you're getting the guy at the top of the list. At 202, you might still get the guy at the top of the list, but more often than not, you're probably getting like the second or third guy on that list. But even then, like similar tiers of rookies that I feel like you can throw it out the window. Man, and then with Aaron Rodgers leaving the Packers, more than likely, I think that hurts Watson a little bit. We'll talk a little bit about Jordan Love later.
Yes, we will. But
still, I mean, Christian Watson had a good game in Jordan Love's small appearance.
He broke one to the cribbo.
It's a tough one. This is a tough one. I think you've probably got to go with the multitude of assets. You've probably got to go with Team A, getting Burks, Moore, and basically the same pick. I think in the long run, you're going to be happier with that depth. And if the Jets get that good quarterback, Elijah Moore will be pretty good.
So what you're saying is you're going to trade me Christian Watson in our TGIF league immediately after this podcast has ended.
Maybe.
You didn't
It's
say
gonna-
no.
I can't say no. I'm a trade god. At some point, I have said a lot of no's. I declined a lot of offers today.
I've said no way too much. I'm about to just start saying yes because I'm a
yeah.
trade
It's like,
guy,
okay,
you know,
maybe I do have to push a trade through.
Gotta
It's
move
hard
and
to-
I gotta know.
Well, I think so we're both on team A here, the side getting Treylon Burks, Elijah
Mhm.
Moore, and the 202 over Christian Watson, and the 109. I have a feeling it's pretty close though. And in fact, I might say it's so far maybe the closest one to me.
Yeah, man, I really think it's close now. But if we're talking about this trade in 2 weeks and we see a quarterback go to New York like a Aaron Rodgers or Derek Carr, I think we're talking about this trade being like razor thin. So yeah, I would say that this is probably the most fair trade we've talked about thus far.
And who knows? We've got one fun little trade straight out of our fantasy football league. It's not the one that has made you mad, but it's another one that's a very fun trade to break down. Let's check this out. Trade number 4, and we've blocked out the names, but Team A has acquired Mac Jones, Javonte Williams, 114 because it's a 14-team league, and the 201. So back-to-back picks at the 1 and 2 turn in our upcoming rookie draft. 4, Kyler Murray and Rondale Moore stack, and the 312. And then so some important factoids about the Trade Gods Invitational is that it's 14 teams, it's super flex, it's PPR, it's tight end premium, and it's start 3 wide receivers with 2 regular flexes. So wide receivers are pretty valuable. Quarterbacks, of course, with 14 teams and a super flex. So that being said, what do you think?
When I saw this trade happen on the old sleeper app, we saw it happen on the TGIF, the Trade Gods Invitational Fantasy League. I was like, what is happening? But sometimes I have to take a minute because sometimes, I'm only human. I might be a trade god, but at the end of the day, I'm still a human and my emotions run high. I thought this was kind of lopsided, but then I thought about it. I looked at it and I thought, if Kyler Murray comes back this year, and even if he doesn't, he comes back in 2024, that's a top 7 QB in Dynasty. Rondale Moore, pew, 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 shots, explosive. Maybe he takes off in Gannon's offense. So it was a lot more fair. But I want to say off the top, we are definitely covering the TGIF trades each and every week on the Trade Gods.
Yes.
You gonna be in this league with us? You gonna get your trades to talk about. We gonna talk about them. I'm very excited to talk about this trade. And then look on the other side. The 114, the 201, love those. I think you can get really, really, really good fantasy players in those spots. And then Javonte, let's not act like Javonte's a scrub.
No.
He might take a little extra time to come back, but in that Sean Payton offense, if they get that, that thing fine-tuned and cooking, it could be a really, really high-octane offense, and Javonte is going to definitely benefit because he can catch the ball, he can run the ball, he's a really, really dynamic running back. And Mac Jones just got Billy O'Brien, a real offensive coordinator in his corner. Hopefully they get some weapons around him because right now the New England Patriots do not have pass-catching weapons. They just do not have any. But they could get some. They could. Whether it be the draft, free agency, trades, we'll see. There's a lot of time to play out. So I think it's a pretty fair trade. Now, if I had to pick which side I'd rather have, I do think, and this is kind of swayed over the last couple of days, I think I would rather have the Mac Jones, Javonte Williams in the 2 picks. I think I'd rather have that. What do you think about this trade?
Yeah, I think I'm probably with you on which side I prefer. But as you know, last week, Kyler Murray was my buy. I'm in on him regardless of if he plays football at all, because like you said, he's a top 7 fantasy quarterback when playing. So you eat the bullet now, and you just hold on to him because you're going to be happy when you have him. And this is a little sneak peek at something that might be coming to the Player Profiler website, but we've all submitted a list of my guys, and Rondale Moore is one of my guys. You know, he's just he's a football player I like. You know, I always talk about liking Deebo Samuel. I like Rondale Moore. Yeah, obviously not the same size, but little Ant-Man. He's got the Ant-Man picture on his player page. But
Quantumania.
yeah, I haven't seen it yet, so
Neither have I.
So anyway, but so I love the stack, and yeah, I like the stack. I'm just going to add it there. What I really like about Team A right here is you're buying low on Mac Jones while there's still reports out that, I mean, geez, Zappy Fever is still running, man.
I mean, there may be a chance Zappy is the quarterback here in New England by day one. I think there's a lot of things to come together if that were to be the case, but there are reports that, you know, a lot of the decision makers here for the Patriots want Zappy over Mac Jones. You know, Mac Jones was not a team player in 2022. Can't blame him. Terrible year.
Yeah.
Having a failure of a head coach and a defensive coordinator as your offensive coordinator, throwing a whole bunch of screens. I get it, but yeah, Zappy could be the guy. So does that factor into your decision at all?
No, I think that is what's kind of making Mac Jones value low. I mean, like, we've got to remember he's a young quarterback who's probably stuck on this team for a decent amount of time. I mean, I don't think he's done too much to really turn away from him currently. I mean, you know, obviously not a Tom Brady type career or maybe even a Joe Flacco type career, but in our league, 2 quarterbacks essentially with it being a super flex and 14 teams. I mean, hey, you've got Mac Jones. You can't complain. And then Javonte Williams, another player buying low on. There's everyone out there. He's the next J.K. Dobbins. He's not going to be the same. I mean, I kind of agree. I'm not going to lie. I'm definitely in the camp that I think the Broncos bring in someone. But I mean, at this point, what running back doesn't have someone else in their backfield? So to just have him, an explosive running back, versus breakaway run rate, I know that's up there. For evaded tackles, we all remember.
Javonte's. I mean, Javonte is a running back who can break tackles. He can break runs. He runs hard. Problem with him is just the injury. I mean, we saw how it hindered J.K. Dobbins this year. Even when he was back on the field, it was weird. I mean, Dobbins was back and he was running well, but he didn't look great. Could that be Javonte this year? Certainly could. And don't forget, how much do you factor in the regime change? You know, we always talk about the vaunted regime change. They didn't draft Javonte. You know, Sean Payton could bring in his guy. How much does that factor into your valuation of a Javonte Williams?
I mean, it factors in probably a small bit. You know, it's we've seen New Orleans Saints running backs with Sean Payton have success. So I mean, obviously you like that about him. Sean Payton did say that he really likes Latavius Murray's leadership and work ethic. You know, for some reason. So he's already hyping up Latavius Murray out in Denver, which is for some reason. So, you know, but that's what hurts Javonte Williams' value. But I mean, I still think when we're watching football, he's going to be a top 24 running back at least, especially in PPR. So I like Javonte Williams. And I mean, you already said it, having the 114 and the 201, that's nice. That is really, really, really nice. You're getting not only a fun dart throw, you know, that you're just excited about a rookie that, you know, perhaps didn't get the perfect landing spot, but you like their profile, or something else, like they just ended up in a really good landing spot and maybe a questionable profile, but you get to take one of those fun dart throws, see who fell through back to back. I mean, that's some good stuff on top of what you've earned in Mac Jones and Javonte Williams. However, in 2024, we might be looking at this differently when Kyler Murray is finally 100% and the Arizona Cardinals aren't going through growing pains. But now,
even if Kyler Murray is by far the best player in this trade, I still think that Team A in this trade can be happy. I mean, definitely. You have Mac Jones, who's serviceable, starter every week. Javonte Williams, a top 20 running back, plus 2 players that you can add to your bench that could be, you know, theoretical starters. I think you would make that trade right here, right now. I mean, we are. I mean, the 312.
Yeah. Nah.
Sure, you could hit, but we're not. We're not going to sit here and act like we're expecting that to be a smash.
Yeah.
But the 114, 201 back-to-back picks at the turn of the first round, that's pretty good. And I think that's enough. I think that's enough because, listen, Kyler Murray, reports came out today, from their executives that they believe maybe he could be back before midseason. But, that's just wishful thinking. We saw him hitting that Peloton nice and hard. But what does that mean? What does that mean for a losing team? What does that mean? And can we given the fact that it's the Arizona Cardinals, can we rule out complete chaos? Let's just say the Arizona Cardinals are the worst team in football and they have the 101. Do they want Caleb Williams and move Kyler Murray? I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not sitting here saying that's going to happen. I'm just saying that when you talk about a poverty franchise, to expect them to be on the shinier side of things might be a little bit too optimistic for me.
No, I mean, I think that's fair. They have set the precedent that they're, not committed to quarterback that they've drafted high with the Josh Rosen scenario.
Great point.
I do nothing to do with fantasy football at all now, but it's just, you walked into it. I do like that they got a defensive coordinator as an IDP fantasy football player. They have some talent.
Shots, explosive shots.
They've got some talent on that defense. So, I mean, I think they'll be all right. They've got some real talent on that defense. So I do think that they'll be all right with the right mind behind it. It depends, what that coordinator does. And obviously Kyler Murray's health, but still, I'm with you. I think I'm taking Team A, especially knowing how deep this league's going to end up being, and getting those rookie picks, I think could be pretty decent. What do you think the trade analyzer thinks?
I don't know. But before we look into the trade analyzer, what's your which trade's fair to you, sir? Where do you see as the most trade fair of these four?
Yeah, I think I'm going to go back to trade 3, the Treylon Burks, Elijah Moore in a second for Christian Watson and the 109. I think that's going to be my most fair.
Okay, fair. I definitely think that was in my in my running. But I'm actually going to go with the TGIF trade.
Nice.
That's going to be the most trade fair to me. And basically, this has been the rule that I've used as we've broken down these trades. Which trade gets my mind turning the most? Which one might flip-flop where I landed? And this was that trade to me, where I was thinking about it early in the week when we made the show notes.
Yeah.
To where we are today as we're recording, it's kind of flip-flop. So I'm going to go with the TGIF, the fourth trade being the most fair.
Okay. Let's see what the trade analyzer thinks about that. So trade number 1, the trade where Derek Carr was sent for Isaiah Hodgins and 112, pick 112, had team 2 winning by 37 points. Isaiah Hodgins and the first round pick worth more than Derek Carr, even in the 2 QB. So we disagreed with the trade analyzer there. We were both taking the Derek Carr.
And I still do. I think I still do.
I still do too. I mean, it's probably just because it's unknown, but I think me and you both agree that it's probably going to be a decent landing spot for fantasy purposes. I don't, who knows what happens with real life purposes. I don't know if he's going to be a playoff winning quarterback, but
we only talk fantasy here, baby.
Yeah. Trade 2, Saquon Barkley traded away for Jerry Jeudy, the first round pick in 2023 and a first round pick in 2024. That one, to the trade analyzer, blowout, 131 points in favor of the Jerry Jeudy side. So we agreed with the analyzer there. And yeah, I mean, I see it. Maybe 100 points difference, but I really liked that Jerry Jeudy side, and you agreed, right?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. And then seeing the trade analyzer back me up, I'm really puffing out my chest after thinking about that, because let's go.
Yeah. And trade 3, counting. Why I'm so bad at math today?
Math is eluding your brain. I think, what I think? This is what I think. I think that math has sidestepped some part of your brain where you feel guilty for making a trade that was so egregious to your fellow trade god brethren. That math is just, it can't sidestep that guilt.
Yeah. Well, and there were a lot of numbers in that. It was like 4 draft picks for those
There
players.
was a lot. There was a lot. There was a lot.
I've looked at
Fair
enough
enough.
numbers today.
That's true. Fair enough. Fair enough.
But on trade 3, Treylon Burks, Elijah Moore, a 2023 second was sent for Christian Watson in the 109. The trade analyzer disagreed with us, but it was very close. It was 25 points, which is with those kinds of players at this high of a trade analyzer score, that's within 10%. So that's a close trade. It took the Christian Watson side, probably because of the roster spot. Do you want to fight the trade analyzer at all? Or are you kind of there too? You see it?
No, I think it's fair.
Yeah.
No, I think it's fair because the roster spot's fair.
Yeah.
I do think that the trade analyzer. That's why the trade analyzer is such a fantastic tool to break down your trades because it factors that in because that does matter. You can fill that roster spot with a player that could be, a difference maker. So I do think that that's a fair analysis. That's why I love the trade analyzer. So I'm not going to fight back on it, even though I love Christian Watson. You know that.
Yeah. And while that was a close trade, you were correct. The closest trade, the most fair trade, according to the trade analyzer, was the trade that happened in the Trade Gods Invitational. It is almost like those within the Trade Gods Invitational are trade gods amongst themselves. This trade was within 4.5 points in favor of the Kyler Murray side. But again, we're talking about scores in the 420s. So this is within 1% of difference, a very close trade. So I just want to give a round of applause to our league mates right there. Great job.
I want to applaud my league mates, but I freaking hate all my league mates right now.
Man.
Hey, like you guys are out to stab my heart out.
Before we get in to stabbing your heart out, because I think there's a couple players there's a player you want to buy that you maybe don't have in the league, and perhaps something you want to sell that you have in the league. Why don't we answer a couple questions? Because I've seen some in here. So, hey, league mate, John McGlynn. He just sent his 113 for Olave after he was traded for 24 first. So overpaid in terms of league history. But what do you like about the 113 for Olave?
I love it. Give me Olave.
I love it too.
Give me Olave.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like he's worth like a 102, to be honest, or like 103. Like he's up there. So great trade. We're glad you made that. And this one, Noah Blum wants to know. This is a Superflex 12 team. A 103 in Trey Lance or Drake London. Which.
So I'm assuming it's the 103 and Trey Lance for Drizzy Drake.
Yeah.
I don't need a quarterback. I have Mahomes. So I'm assuming it's a one quarterback. Oh, it says Superflex though.
One QB non-Superflex 12 team maybe is what he's saying. And then it's I think, it's 103 in Trey Lance for Drake London in a 1 QB league, and they don't need a quarterback.
Noah, did you do this on purpose? Because you've set us a booby trap, my friend. There's a lot of discretion here. How are we going to interpret this? But what I'm going to interpret this is a 1 QB league. It's non-Superflex, 12 team. The 103 and Trey Lance for Drizzy Drake London. Nah, I don't like it. Yeah. I think the 103, you keep it until your draft because I think we gotta see what the combine provides, that information. And I do love Drake London. I do think that Drake London would compete for the wide receiver 1 in this class. I still think a good combine showing for JSN, Jordan Addison, and then a good landing spot could kind of rival that. Plus a Trey Lance that's a throw-in. I'd rather have the 103 and Trey Lance right now.
All right, and the last trade from the Harry Snowman, another league mate. Would you take Juju or the 2-1 in a Superflex tight end premium 12 team?
That one's super tough because Juju, I think he's going to petition himself to stay with the Kansas City Chiefs. I think he wants to stay there. I think that's where he'll thrive. And even at that spot, I still think I want the 201. I think I want the 201 here. I love this draft. I really do love this draft class.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on the 2-1. I think we know what Juju is, and it is nice that he's attached to the Chiefs offense, and he is going to be a decent enough option.
Mhm.
But I think, I mean, you could hit so much higher with the 2-1. I mean, you could swing and miss so much worse, but I think I'm taking that dart throw instead of Juju.
Yeah, and I also think that at the 201, let's say you make a selection. I think you could like move that. I think there's a lot of time from now till the actual where we need fantasy points where you can maneuver the 201. I think to sell it now for Juju is too premature.
Yeah, I think I'm with you there. That's a kind of move that probably needs to be made on draft night. You've hit your draft spot, and it's like, man, none of the wide receivers I wanted are here. I could just go get Juju. But right now, hold on to that pick. All right. So we've done a couple questions. Let's move on to the best, most fun and thrilling segment of the night.
It's time to buy and sell.
Yeah.
All right, so it's tradition that I pick, but however, I've been kind of leading things tonight, and we'll have a special announcement at the end of tonight's episode as to why, but why don't you pick tonight?
Let's go with the bites.
You want to do some NSYNC?
Bites.
Was I right? Did I mess it up? Was that Backstreet Boys? Was I right first?
How dare you? It's insane.
I'm sorry, man.
How dare you?
I got paranoid when I said it.
You make this trade behind my back and then besmirch NSYNC. This show's
okay.
over.
I was right.
Trade
it was just like too silent when I said it.
Over.
It was like silent. I was like, wait a minute. I'm doubting myself. All the pressure is getting to me.
Hard.
I've lost a friend for making a trade in our very own league. And I'm over here just trying my best.
And you kick him when he's down.
But you want to do some buys.
Let's do some buys. Let's do it.
You're buying Jordan Love. I'm buying Antonio Gibson. Why are you buying Jordan Love?
I can't express to you how much seeing Tony G above your name, knowing you just bought him in TGIF, it hurts me so much that if I had the money, I would buy a one-way flight down to Atlanta to find your apartment and maybe put a pillow over your face. I'm hurt right now.
It's accessible. You could hop off the airplane, get on the MARTA, like just walk over to the MARTA station, take the MARTA station all the way up to the stop nearest my apartment.
Jay,
I won't tell you which one.
Jay, my man, this is why I love you. This is why I love you. This is why I could never truly be mad at you. I'm telling you that I'm going to take a one-way ticket to literally end your life, and you're telling me how to do it? I love you, man. You're such a nice guy. That's why that's why I can't be mad at you. It's over. I don't care about that trade anymore. But what I do care about is why everyone should buy Jordan Love. Listen, Aaron Rodgers, he emerged from his darkness ceremony, whatever it's called. He's leaving. Packers are sick of him. He's sick of the Packers. He's gone. Jordan Love is QB1 in Green Bay. He's going to have Christian Watson. He's going to have Aaron Jones. He's going to have AJ Dillon. They're probably going to bring in another pass catcher, whether it be tight end or wide receiver. They're going to give my man some weapons. And in his small sample size in 2022, the game against the Philadelphia Eagles, the Super Bowl runner-up.
Wow, the Eagles made the Super Bowl?
They made the Super Bowl and they lost it, but we're not going to talk about that. We're just going to talk about this game here in Week 12, where Jordan Love made 9 attempts. He threw for over 100 yards, which concluded in a big touchdown to Christian Watson. I think Jordan Love has the tools to be an effective quarterback in fantasy. He is in the 75th percentile for 40-yard dash, 88th percentile for burst score. He is a former first-round pick, and I would have to imagine that his coach and all of his backup, all of his coordinators are excited to get him the ball. Get Jordan Love at the helm to make it happen. And I think now's your chance to buy, not at a discount. I can tell you firsthand, he ain't coming cheap. But I think he's worth paying for because I think he can come back. The ROI, the return on investment for a guy like Jordan Love is astronomical. He could legitimately crack the top 12, I think, in a fantasy season, given his rushing ability, given the weapons around him, given the fact that he's got the skill set. And also, Matt LaFleur wants to let this boy cook.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to buy Jordan Love, and I'm not ashamed to say it. So if you're in the TGIF, get ready. I'm coming. I'm coming.
I love it. That's a great buy. I had no idea Aaron Rodgers' darkness retreat would take so long. I thought it was going to be like a weekend thing.
No, it was a 4-day thing, but he said it last week that the reporters got it wrong when he was going into the darkness retreat.
Oh, I just thought he's been in it this whole time.
No, 4 days. It was 4 days. He had it on the schedule. All the big wigs had it wrong. He was in. He came out. What was today? Today's Thursday. So he must have went in Monday.
Yep.
But man, oh man. Dude, I've done 2 podcasts this week. I'm going to do another one.
Yeah.
You're going to put me in a darkness? You're going to put me in a room with no internet? I can't talk to Jason? Torture for me. I can't do it. I can't do it. Just can't do it. Won't do it.
And, hopefully that retreat, it seems like he's leaving. So, God, he's leaving. And so, we saw it last season, and the Eagles, a great defense. They're part of the reason they made the Super Bowl was that pass rush. I mean, like you said, performed very well. Most of it Christian Watson, but a good proportion of it Jordan Love, and Aaron Jones is taking a discount to return. We've talked about A.J. Dillon on the show a few times. So it's a decent offense. So I'm in on Jordan Love for sure. And it's not a discount, but I would say it's a discount towards quarterbacks in Superflex leagues.
I'm going to stop you right there.
Yeah.
You said you're in on Jordan Love. If you trade for Jordan Love in TGIF, so help me God. That's all you need to know.
If you're listening and you're in TGIF and you have Jordan Love and you just want to make Maddie even more mad.
If you want to see a man cry in front of his children, go ahead and do it. Do what you will. Do what you will.
You're like sitting there watching Frozen 2 or whatever. You watch with the
Dude,
kids.
listen, no. Don't play with my heartstrings. Don't play with my heartstrings. We've gone fully off the rails in this episode. This has been a banger of an episode. Love it.
It's good. You're loving this episode. You're loving Jordan Love. I'm loving Antonio Gibson. And I had to trade for him before this episode because I knew you guys listening would not let me get him after I talked about him. So currently in our rankings, he's RB38. Disappointing season. Makes sense. But he does have a profile that we all love. He's only going to be 25. He has a 97th percentile 40, 99th percentile speed score. In 2022, the Commanders had the 4th most run plays. Granted, that's probably going to Brian Robinson, but still, they love their running backs. And he was decent in a few metrics. 12th in targets, 13th in receiving yards, 13th in receptions, 11th in target share, 12th in yards per reception, and 9th in yards per route run. So showing that he's clearly utilized as the pass-catching role running back in this offense. And they've just brought in Eric Bieniemy. And we just saw what a pass-catching running back can do in his offense. And that was Jerick McKinnon, who won so many fantasy football leagues. And so, that's reason enough alone. And then you think about it this way. Sam Howell is probably going to be the quarterback. And, he's probably going to have to rely on some dump-offs just because he's learning. He's getting acclimated to the NFL. In 2021, Antonio Gibson was number 5 in evaded tackles, 8th in breakaway runs, highlighting his explosiveness. And I think he could be unlocked in 2023. What do you think about Antonio Gibson? Angry man.
I'm so angry. You hit it. Listen, if you can buy Antonio Gibson in your fantasy league, do it. He has a skill set to be a legitimate stud in fantasy. We saw it, and I don't know. I cannot express the confusion that I have for the Commanders coaching staff. Yeah. What he did in week 1 last year, with Carson Wentz, sideline catches, touchdown
Yeah.
catches, only to bury him after.
Yeah.
He literally has the skill set to be a top 8 running back in PPR. So buy him now and just hope for the best.
Yeah.
And, if you're part of a podcast in which you claim that you care for your fellow trade god brethren and is willing to burn it all down to the ground for Antonio Gibson, do it. Just do it. Do it.
Hey, it was Antonio Gibson and Christian Watson. Can you blame a man?
I'm so angry when you say that. It makes me so angry. Okay.
I can say it so many more times, but I won't. Would you like to move on to sells?
Yeah, I'm about to sell my co-host.
No,
No, I would never do that. I love you, brother. I love you, brother. Never do that. Never do that.
Let's sell. You're selling.
So I'm selling the 110. And I think it's the 110, 111, 112. And here's why. Me and Cody last night, we did a mock draft of the 1 QB league. Make sure you go check that out on the Player Profiler channel. It was a lot of fun. Last night, Cody took Josh Downs. But then the names after that, Devon Achane, Keyshawn Boutte, and if it's Superflex 2 QB, obviously that's going to facilitate the names down. We're looking at like a Zay Flowers, Zach Charbonnet. I think the best move here at the 110 is to trade back and look for a league mate that has maybe the 204, 209, 212, 203, whatever it is. I'm looking to trade back from the 110 and get multiple picks in the second round because I think the running back class this year is super deep. Even though the wide receiver class might not be, but if you're a team that's looking like, I could use a few bullets in the running back room, trade back, get yourself, Tajay Spears and I don't know, Zach Evans, Kendre Miller, Devon Achane. I think that now's the time to trade back from the 110 in all formats, Superflex or 1 QB, because I think that the players that you can get in the middle of the second might not be all that different from the 110. So look to trade the 110. I'm not looking to trade the 110 necessarily for a player. And then, obviously each league is different. So if a player presents an opportunity to get a bona fide stud, somebody that you could play each and every week, obviously going to do that, but I don't see that happening. But one move that I want to make and I'm trying to make in real time, in real life, is moving back from the 110. Get me 2 second-round picks or, a high second-round pick and a third-round pick. Get me a second-round pick and a couple third-round picks, whatever the case may be. But I'm looking to move back and get a few assets.
Yep, I'm with you there. Nothing like like you said, what you're getting at 110 is probably not much different than what you're going to be getting in the second. Mm-hmm. So to just move back a little bit and maybe not get the perfect dart throw, but to just get a couple more. I think you're going to be much happier when you get your roster flushed out. So I'm with you there. And I think it's time for my sell. And I'm sorry to keep attacking your orphan that you adopted, that you went over in the game plan. I'm not meaning to. When I do my sells, especially at this point in the season, I just look at our.
What are you trying to do to me here? Do you want? What are you doing? What are you doing to me?
I don't know how this keeps happening. But I'm making my way down, and last week was CeeDee Lamb. I might have to pivot to running backs or tight ends or quarterbacks or whatever next week, but I'm still looking at wide receiver this week, and I like Drake London. He's a good kid. I'm here in Atlanta.
This is the first time in Trade God's history where the sell was let down like you're being fired from a supermarket. You're a good kid. You'll land on your feet. You'll figure it out.
Yeah. But so when I'm looking at these weapons, I'm not going to be brave enough to say sell Kyle Pitts, but I think I will be brave enough to say sell Drake London. I think it's going to take a whole new coaching staff for him to reach the ceiling that we really, really, really want him to. Arthur Smith has proven that all he wants to do is run the damn ball. He did it in Tennessee with Derrick Henry. Now he's here in Atlanta, and instead of using their franchise quarterback that people love with all of their heart, and we're so sad to see him leave, Matty Ice, instead of using him, you've decided to go get Marcus Mariota and Desmond Ridder, who had better seasons than Matt Ryan, but still, he just wanted some damn mobile quarterbacks, and he wanted to run the ball. It's proven by 31st in team pass plays by the Falcons, probably due to the quarterbacks not being able to pass while also being mobile, but still. They led the league in run attempts and rush attempts, and that was with Tyler Algier, Caleb Huntley, Avery Williams, all of those guys.
Patterson.
Hey. Keep Cordero.
That's where you draw the line? That's where you draw the line of your besmirchment is Cordero Patterson?
Don't bring Scorderell's name.
This guy is trashing some of the premier talents in this football league and then draws the line at Cordero Patterson. Kudos to you, sir.
Hey, he's accurately valued. What can I say? He's pennies on the dollar. I got him for $4 in our $1,000 auction.
Yeah, and you paid $3 too much.
Yeah, probably. Probably. But he's still got 1 year left on his contract.
Well,
and I'll bring up Cordero again later. But so let's dive even deeper. Drake London's going to have great games. He had 100 yards and a touchdown to end the year with Desmond Ridder. So he's going to have great games. However, it's just not going to be consistent. Right now we have him at wide receiver 9, which to me is just valuing him at his peak. Some wide receivers that are below him that I think are at least arguably, I would rather have arguably Chris Olave, Devontae Smith, T. Higgins, and then even more arguably Tyreek Hill, Stephon Diggs. You could go down the line, Christian Watson, all of these people. He was 22nd in overall targets among wide receivers, but fifth in target share. So he had the 5th most target share, but the 22nd most targets. That just shows mathematically, and we talked about not liking math earlier, but shows that they just don't pass the ball. Yeah. He's getting a good share of volume, but in the grand scheme of things, he's not getting a lot of volume. And Pitts was only active for 10 games and still, he had not a lot of targets. And I don't think he comes close to that next season, assuming Kyle Pitts is fully healthy as well. So, and we're seeing mocks where the Falcons get a wide receiver in the 2nd or just get a wide receiver in general, bring in a vet. That's something that's being talked about. I mean, that wide receiver core sucks. So I just think that there's just going to be a lot of competition around there. They've got 1 year left on Cordero. They might just use him in the passing game. Who knows?
Switch him back.
Yeah, exactly. Just put him back. I don't know. I mean, just use what you can out of the guy while he's still in the league. I'm not going to knock the talent at all. I don't think the situation is too great to be wide receiver 9 in rankings. So
if you're selling, I'm buying. I look at his 32.4% target rate, his 29.4% target share. Love every bit of that because I just think with a better quarterback, the passing numbers will go up. Drake London's going to get those passes. Also, his yards per route run was top 11 in the league this past season. He has a good ability to get open. I want Drake London, so if you're selling, I'm buying. I like Drake London. Give me Drake London. So I think Arthur Smith, who loves to #establish it, he's going to be forced to throw the ball. That's the NFL in today's climate. And if he gets a better quarterback, and even Desmond Ridder, listen, he doesn't get a better quarterback. He just has Desmond Ridder. Desmond Ridder likes to throw to his wide receiver 1. He did it a lot in college. And I think that they did that with Drake London this year. We saw him have some good games. So if you're selling, I'm buying. I don't want to sell Drake London right now unless I'm getting over the moon established, receivers, running backs, things of that nature.
So you what are your thoughts on Chris Olave, Devontae Smith, T. Higgins in particular around him?
Okay, so what do we have? We have T. Higgins, Drake London, Devontae Smith, and what was the last guy you said?
Chris Olave.
Olave, I think I would go T. Higgins 1, Devontae Smith, Drake London, Chris Olave.
Okay.
So I think the concerns that you have for Drake London, you can have for Chris Olave. I mean, definitely. Who's going to be their quarterback?
The Red Rocket, Andy Dalton.
It's the Red Rifle, not the Red Rocket. You made him sound so much worse than his nickname.
Right? Get demonetized after an hour. Oh man.
What a show it's been. What a show it's been.
But all right. Let's wrap this off the rails episode up, man. Where can the people find you?
You can, guys, everyone listening, you can find me on Twitter. I'm at Matty Kiwoom, MattyKiwoom. My articles come out on playerprofile.com. Make sure you're following both TikToks, Player Profiler and Profiler_NFL, because we got TikToks coming out every single day. And I love to get that content out on Profile_NFL. And make sure you check out the game plan each and every Saturday. I got some very special guests lined up for the offseason. And also check out my mock drafts that I've been doing with Cody Carpentier. And we dropped it on Twitter, so the cat's out the bag. The Player Lounge is coming, ladies and gentlemen. That's a show you're not going to want to miss. Make sure you are tuned into that. It is going to be a fantastic show. And as always, make sure you're coming back each and every Thursday for the Trade Guys. So me and Jason.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Every Thursday, I'm here with you. Every hour of the day, I'm in that invitational league with you guys. I'm in the Discord. And then you can find me most of the time on the Player Profiler Instagram at Roto Underworld and my personal Twitter at JFootballWine. And if you're looking to listen to some fantasy football stuff while just sipping your morning coffee or working on your commute or just sitting in the office and having nothing to do, you can check out my new show premiering on Monday, Wake and Take at 10 a.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday. Sipping coffee, talking football, waking and taking, my friend. So that's going on this week if you join me there, and then Trade Gods on Thursdays. So
absolutely,
that's a wrap on this episode. Before we go, I'm sorry about the trade, my friend.
We'll talk about it. You can make it up to me by trading me those players for Derrick Henry.
I can make it up to you.
For me.
I can make it up to you. Well, stay tuned next week to see if I make it up to him. We'll see if that happens. Probably not. But
let's just see if I troll each and every episode of the Wake and Take until I get my trade back.
Thanks everyone for joining. You have a wonderful night. Peace.